Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
We got a great show today. We got a couple of, we got an oldie but goodie, and we also have a new star, our Rookie of the Year. So guys, I just want to start off by saying thanks for coming. And what we're doing this year is really kind of cool. I've kind of run this thing the last several years, and we've done really well. But this year, I've kind of asked some people to help with it. And so Kathy Sefton, you guys know, is sitting over here. She's going to help, right? Her and Jerry. It's a three-headed monster. It's Kathy in commercial lines. It's Jerry Tate in personal lines. And Jerry would love to have been here. Her husband's mother passed away and had to go over to Europe for the funeral. And Aaron McCubbin. And Aaron McCubbin on the service operations side and the personal line side is also. So we're going to have a lot more horsepower. So the other thing is Joey is videotaping this because we have a lot of people on our service center team that don't get to attend because they have to be on the phone. You know, they're always on the phone. So they will be over here, and we'll kind of show this to them one-on-one. So and just to tell you guys, we've raised lots of money here over the last few years. Clay will tell you about Insure the Cure and how that kind of came about and how great that is and how we're doing with all the other people in the city. But I just want to say for you guys and for me, when I think about this, Clay came to me, I don't know, 5, 6 years ago. We contributed a little bit, you know, as a company, and then we didn't get involved in it. And then Clay started doing a little bit more and getting other companies involved, so we got involved. And you guys have always really participated, and it's really a cool thing, right? So these guys will tell you more about it. But I just want to tell you, the thing that is a danger for me is when I come to these things and I see Clay and his daughter Emily, and I see Emily's video, and I see Desi, and I see her, and I see her video. These kids, look how beautiful they both are, right? They're great kids. They look fine. Everything, they can walk around. They're doing all sorts of things, right? But what you don't see, and I think there's a danger in that. You see these kids that look, hey, they look fine, right? What you don't see is the stuff that they have to go through on a daily basis to keep this disease at bay, right? And so, and I know, as you guys know, I have 5 children who are older now, right? And as they grow old and as they have things that happen to them, whether it's an arm breaking or a scraped knee, the hardest thing in the world for anybody is to see their kids get pain and hurt and going through something, right? So I would only ask you to try to relate to it on that level and to see and think about your kids and what they'd have to go through. So, and then Clay and Jamie and Molly will talk all about all the great things that the money we raised has done so far and the strides that we've taken. So with that, I'm going to introduce Molly is here. Molly is from the CF Foundation here in Georgia. I'm going to let her say.
Well, I've been here every year.
Yeah, so you guys know her.
Coming to y'all, family. Well, I'm real smart because I put the agendas together, so I don't ever put myself after CF parents, right? Like, I'm smart to know where I kind of fall in that pecking order. At the foundation, we always begin with a thank you and end with a thank you. You guys have been steadfast partners to us in this fight for a cure since really the beginning of Insure the Cure. Insure the Cure has raised over $1.2 million for a cure. So thank you guys. Give yourself a big round of applause. They're going to talk about the why. I'm going to talk about the what. So the what is the walk. Who has been to the walk? So, okay, wow. This is veterans. Okay, so basically I'm just going to give you a lowdown on it. New location this year, we've moved it to Swanee. We just got too big for Georgia Tech, which is a good thing. I know, we've got a lot of people very excited about Swanee. Jim and Nick's will be there again. Home Depot will be there again. The Kids Corner, so bring your kids, bring your spouses, no dogs, but everything else can come. And it's gonna be great. It's a 2.4-mile walk, really short. And again, we don't judge if you don't walk. This year, we also have Jim and Nick's, which everyone knows it's a long line to get the food. We've moved one into Insure the Cure's tent. So you have a line, an actual like catering line right outside your tent. VIP. Because we know that y'all come to network with each other and we didn't want y'all to have to leave. But please come this year. Let our community thank you for all you've done for them. As you'll hear from Jamie and Desi and Clay, they want to thank you. They know they can't do it alone. You guys, I don't know if any of you have connections, but you know, Clay and Jamie have to be here and you guys don't have to be here. And we are thank you guys for continuing. And with that, play.
What are we going to show the video?
I was going to do it right before.
Right where Jamie goes. Yeah.
Thank you, Molly. So Molly's got.
I have my own kid, so I'm just get out before we make.
Good afternoon. I feel like I'm speaking to the experts, so I'll be brief. And I want to echo what Molly said. Thanks. Since 2011, our industry has shown just how great our industry is to this CF community. And just a couple of additional stats. 800 people in the state of Georgia live with cystic fibrosis, only 800, and only 30,000 in the United States, 70,000 worldwide. The reason that fact is important is because, as Molly said, on our own, as parents or people that are related to people with CF, we just don't have the ground troops and the manpower to raise the money that we need to find a cure. So what we do as an industry is making a huge impact and a huge statement to this community of cystic fibrosis, especially in Atlanta, that our industry cares about others even when we're not directly impacted. So thank you very much for what you do. Just a first grade level one-on-one CF education. It's a genetic disease. You're born with it. Emily and Desi lost the genetic lottery. They have two defective genes in their body that basically cause the mucus. It's a chloride thing and cell membranes and all kind of sciencey stuff. But effectively, cystic fibrosis is where the mucus in their bodies is thicker than it's supposed to be. And that thicker than normal mucus clogs up your digestive system, causes your digestive system to malfunction, and also your lungs or your pulmonary system. So what people with CF battle is their pancreas can't secrete enzymes because the ducts are blocked by this mucus. They take enzymes by pill every day to help them digest and absorb the nutrients from their food so that they're not malnourished. Back in the old days, before the medical community figured that out, people died from cystic fibrosis before they were 10, but because of malnourishment more than it was lung complications. Now that we have enzymes and we've been using them for 50 years, folks are living a lot longer with this disease. And so the lung problem is something that is a continual challenge, and Jamie's going to tell you about the day-to-day life, so I won't do that. But a continual challenge where people with CF do a lot of things during the day to help maintain and keep their lung health as strong as they can. My daughter Emily, who's a freshman at Georgia, is going to be 20 on the 30th of this month. And her lung function when she was a little kid like Desi was 100%. But unfortunately, the reality and the stats of that is as people with CF get older, their lung function starts to slide. Today, Emily operates on about 50% lung function. So when she gets a cold or she gets an infection in her lungs and she starts to have low energy, it's because she feels like she's breathing through a straw. And the wonderful thing about what the CF Foundation does and the money that we raise is they're constantly working to create new levels of care, new medicines, new treatments, better care centers, all these things that help improve the quality of life, but also the length of life for people impacted by this disease. When Emily was born in 1997, the median survival age was in the early 30s. Today, I'm pleased to tell you that it's in the early 40s. So we've made tons of progress just in the last 20 years. The money that we raise goes into funding this medical research, as I alluded to a minute ago. But I want to tell you about two real breakthrough things that excite me as a parent. But I think they also should be exciting to those not directly affected because it shows that your money is being put to very good and effective use. 2 drugs have been created because of this venture philanthropy that the CF Foundation invests with the medical community to create treatments for this stuff. 2 drugs have been approved by the FDA in the last 4 years. One is called Kalydeco and one is called Orkambi. And these drugs are breakthroughs because they address the cell defect that comes from this defective gene. And when people of this can take this drug, and about half the CF community is a good candidate for this drug, it actually allows the cell membrane to do the right thing and causes the mucus to be the proper thickness, to use a very non-scientific term. It doesn't cure the disease, but it really improves the quality of life. Now we are busily funding and doing research, I say the cystic fibrosis community, the medical community, for that round of drugs that yet to be approved and yet to be put on the market for the other 50% of the people with these various genotypes of CF. Emily, my daughter, is in that other 50%. So as a parent, we're still looking forward to that next approval and that next breakthrough, which the CF Foundation tells us is probably 3 to 5 years away. So we have great hope, but we don't want to stop until we can find a treatment and a cure for everybody with CF. And when I attend leadership conferences of the foundation, I hear not "we hope one day," but they're actually talking about "we believe we will have this thing figured out in 15 to 20 years," which is very hopeful, again, for a person who lives as a parent with a child with this disease. So, with that, I'm going to turn it over to the real star of the show, which is Jamie and Desi. And they have a video they want to show. Does anybody have any questions about the disease or the research or the money?
I just want to, Clay, when Emily was born, we realized she had CF. What was the life expectancy then versus now?
30 then, now 40.
So 10 years of difference
Yes.
in that period of time,
Yes.
which is pretty impressive.
It's pretty impressive, pretty amazing. And, you know, like many of you, I had heard the word cystic fibrosis in July 1997 when Emily was diagnosed. She was 3 months old when she was diagnosed, but I had no idea what it was. So that's what it is. And as Jerome said earlier, when you meet somebody with CF, you're like, well, there's nothing wrong with them, you know? It's all this internal stuff. Yes, ma'am?
Well, did she have trouble breathing, or what were the signs that made you?
Great question. So what caused us to have Emily diagnosed was the digestive thing. So she wasn't gaining weight. So, you know, you bring a new baby home from the hospital and they say, well, she ought to gain X number of ounces per week or month or whatever. And we're 3 months in and Emily's still at her birth weight. And so we take her to the pediatrician and say, what's wrong, you know? And then they do, back then what they did, and they still do it today, was a sweat test. And the sweat test measures the amount of salt that's in your perspiration. And that's one of the ways that they diagnose it. Today, it's all done prenatally. You probably knew before Desi was born or not?
No, we found out through the PKU screening.
Okay.
That little hill prick that was added in maybe 5 years ago.
So a lot of these things are being done prenatally or right after birth or whatever. So they're diagnosing the disease really early now. And that's really good because the earlier you can start doing the right thing from a care perspective, the higher the quality of life and all the better results that you're going to get. Good question. Anybody else? Great. Jamie, are you ready to roll?
Your turn, Jamie.
Turn it over to Jamie.
Oh, you must show the video first.
Yeah,
Okay.
sounds good. She is our only child. We did not, like Clay was saying, we did not know that she had CF beforehand. We were offered the testing to do for several other various diseases, but we chose not to because there was nothing that could be corrected prenatally. And so we're like, there's no point in knowing, we'll just enjoy it unless there's something that's operated got a call probably 8 days after she was born, and they called and said, can you come in? We need you to come in now. And we live like 15 minutes max, like just down the street from the pediatrician. So my husband Ross and I went in, and this pediatrician who wasn't ours at the time came in, and she's like, I'm so sorry, this is how we have to meet. I'm just so sorry. And I was like, I had no idea. What's the problem here? And so she said, we got Desi's PKU screening back, and it showed positive for cystic fibrosis, and I'm so sorry. And she was so devastated, and I automatically just felt really, just like the wind let out of your sails, because I'm a new mom. I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, this is my first child. Now I'm not just a mother, I'm a caregiver. I'm a medical provider, and I don't know anything about it. And we lived in Nashville before we moved here, before we had Desi. And when I was a school teacher, and there was a class beside me, and there were 2 children, a brother and a sister, who both had CF. And that was the only knowledge I had. All I knew was when they went into the hospital, which was often, they were there for a while. We're talking weeks. And so I just remember thinking, like, it's a sickly, that was all that I knew was hospitalization. So we were then put in touch with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, which I have to tell you is phenomenal. They have educated us so well on CF, so we're very thankful for that. Much is from the CF community that then funnels down to these care centers. So they educated us on what to do with her. At 10 days old, she started taking her first medication, and it was these little beads. It was like silica gel. It was a tablet that we would open up and pour into applesauce, and it had to be something acidic so she could swallow it, and it wouldn't start until it hit her digestive system to help her absorb nutrients and gain weight. Once she started that, we were able to then see some progression in her weight. So now she still takes, everything that she does now is only going to continue to grow. She takes several medications, 25 pills a day, just for her digestive system. So making that 775 pills a day. I mean, a month rather, 775. And then she also has to do treatments every day. So we've got the pills, the enzymes for her digestive system, then her lungs, which Clay alluded to. So she does a breathing treatment, which you saw that little fish mask that she was wearing there. There's a lot of inhaled medications that are offered. So she does hypertonic saline, which is a salty water, helps kind of open up the airways to kind of tack onto that vest that she was wearing. That's called chest physiotherapy, CPT. The vest she wears twice a day, and it will literally just shake her to move the mucus around that is settling in her lungs. And because when that mucus settles, germs grow, bacteria grows, lung infections happen. So that helps prevent things from settling. So those two together really target her whole body. Those machines are what keep her alive. That medication is what keeps her alive, and that's what the foundation has brought us. All of those treatments that I was talking about, she does twice a day. She does 4 times a day when she's sick. And we've had to do that at one point in time, and it's just, I mean, she's only 20 months old. It's really limiting. I can't imagine when she gets into school, how does she balance her schoolwork, her extracurricular activities, any kind of gymnastics that she wants to do, or tennis, in addition to having CF and everything that goes with that. It's a full-time job. It really is. I mean, and for us as her family, it can be hard. So while that was a hard pill to swallow, no pun intended, we also have met a lot of people in the CF community like Clay that shared this journey with us. But the downer is, like, their kids are fabulous, but Desi can't play with them. It's the only disease that I've ever heard of where people with CF can't be together. And so it's very isolating. There's a high rate of anxiety and depression in people with CF and parents, just because of everything that you're doing and every battle that you're fighting, all the worries that you have. Yes. Yeah. So,
can you explain why they can't be together?
yes. So it never gets easier. So anyway, the stuff that's in the lungs, it can grow this bacteria that one really downer is called Pseudomonas. It's really really potent, and it does a number on the lungs. It really shreds them up. So there's somebody that might have some of that bacteria growing in their lungs, and then them coughing, or the spores that go into the air. If Daisy then takes it, she doesn't have any kind of fighting or ability to build up to fight against that, so then she will get sick. Years ago, there used to be camps, like CF camps for all kids with CF, and that then they learned was not a good idea, because everybody was just leaving worse than they started. So there's efforts with the foundation for more social media, more conferences for adults with CF. So now there's more people that are over 18 living with CF than under. It's first time, huge. So now they're having to target and help this adult population, good problem to have. So we like that Desi looks healthy. You wouldn't know walking down the street, but it's everything behind the scenes that she does, and that she will continue to do, and it will only grow from there. So we fight this journey every single day, and we're thankful for folks like you, because I know for y'all, time is money, but for Desi, for Emily, for everybody with CF, money is time. It's more opportunities for her to figure out what her dreams are. What career does she want to have? Does she want to have a family? What does she want to do in life? What organization does she want to help support? And you're giving her that time. You're giving us more memories with her. And that's something that we cannot do on our own. So thank you. Thank you. And you'll see us, we're team driving Miss Desi at Great Strides. We're driving Miss Desi with her. So if you see any of us, we'll have blue shirts and you'll be able to notice us, but please say hello. We want to come over and we'll see your tent and all, but I would love for my husband to get to meet you all as well.
Just a couple questions. The treatments that she does have, the vest and the breathing treatments, I just can't imagine with an active little child, how you get her to keep still and sit still. How long do they have to be for each treatment in the vest and with the other stuff? How long is it?
So it's 30 minutes of vest treatment, 30 minutes of a breathing treatment, and that's twice a day. But then when she's sick, that's up to 4 times a day. So it can end up being 4+ hours.
She has to sit still longer.
She's pretty good to sit still. We do a lot of entertaining.
Yeah.
Any kind of, I mean, it's good for her to be active if she was, because that's kind of like another part of CPT, for her to be bouncing around using her core, strengthening her body. But we do a lot to entertain. For certain. Yes, darling. But those medications that Clay taught, I didn't get to hit on too, but they're helpful not only for her quality of life, but shorten the hospital time frame, and then they also help reduce the cost for us as families of what all goes in. Because I'm not going to complain. It's not cheap giving everything that she needs. I mean, I'm sure you really understand.
Yeah, like I heard Clay give us some of the costs of some of this stuff, these medications. It's great that they're coming out, right? But they can be, really cost prohibitive, right? Talk about how much per year.
From an insurance perspective, and just from a cost perspective, some of the breakthrough drugs that I referred to a minute ago, they cost upwards of $200,000 a year to have. We're very lucky that health insurance is still covering these, not always without some negotiation. But yeah, the cost of, Emily doesn't take those 2 breakthrough drugs, but I think that when we looked at her pharmacy bill last year, and I want to say it was about $60 grand. And then if she goes in the hospital for extra care, depending on the length of stay, a week at Children's Health Care, or a week at, now she goes to Emory because she's over 18. It's always $30,000, $40,000 going to the hospital for a week. But we're very thankful we have great health insurance. So after I pay my $5,000 out of pocket a year, it's pretty well covered. But the cost of care is significant, but worth it, so that kids like Desi and Emily can live these productive lives. To speak on it from a parent of a 20-year-old, Emily's majoring in accounting. She's a member of a sorority. She's a regular kid when it comes to the day-to-day external stuff. She just does the same treatments that Desi does on her own in her dorm room for a couple hours a day. So, great.
Yes, ma'am. I have a question on the IgE levels, because a friend of mine, daughter has CF, and she sent an email that her IgE levels are 6,000 when it normally should be 200. Do you know what that is?
I'm not familiar with that myself.
IgE. Oh, good one. That's a new one to me. Interesting.
Yeah, sorry, I can't answer on that one.
I just wanted to.
Yeah, hey, come on. Kathy, we're gonna talk about some of the incentives and some of the things that we're trying to do. You know, Kathy and Jerry and Aaron are a little more creative than I have been, so we want to, I mean, again, the bottom line is this. You guys know, and I talk about this sometimes when we're doing our United Way drive. I mean, there's never any pressure from anyone in Hanover for you guys to give. But I am continually amazed at the generosity that the people that we have working here exhibit. You know, I tell the story a couple of years ago when I first did this. One of the women who was not one of the higher paid women in the office sent a $10 donation through the website and had a little apology on there and said, Jerome, I'm so sorry, I wish I could do more, right? And I later found out through her supervisor that her husband had lost his job and he was sick and they lost their insurance and all this kind of stuff. And I thought, man, you know, that she still contributed, right? So I'm just telling you guys, no pressure, but if there's anything that's worthwhile, this is really it. So that you can contribute, and Kathy's going to talk about some of it. But we'd love you to come out to the walk, right? The walk is really a cool event. It's fun. You bring your family, and then if Kathy says this, if everyone found 5 friends to donate $10, think about the geometric progression of this thing, right? So that's so Kathy. Come on.
Jerome just took away all
No,
that.
that's not
That
true.
kind of happens all the time.
But this is not true here, though.
So Jerry and Aaron and I tried to put our heads together and kind of start small, because we could do all kinds of crazy things, and hopefully we'll start to do more. But this year, Joey's recording the event today, so we can send this out to everybody, kind of as a reminder. I think it's great, like when you hear stories like Clay and Jamie's and Desi, to really understand how great our lives are sometimes and how much more we could do. That being said, there's also going to be a link sent out, hopefully later today, where we'll have a Hanover page, and you guys can then set up your own page and send it out to anyone you know and just say anything you can do. And Jerome's right. Think of how many friends you have. If they could each give you $5 and everybody in this room had 20 friends that gave them $5, that'd be amazing. That's $100 a person we'd have coming in from our team. And we're going to have a raffle where there'll be unbelievable prizes. Unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, seriously, there'll probably be some really good gift cards. There'll probably be some good Hanover stuff. We'll have a raffle for anybody that raises more than $50. So I think that's super attainable for everybody if you think about it. And we'll throw your names in the hat, and we'll have a raffle at the end. Big thing, we're going to have a competition this year between commercial and small. Jerry and Aaron are going to be working with the small side, personal, commercial and personal, and we will, I'll work with you guys, kind of helping you set up your pages if you're having any challenges with that, getting you to the right people to get that done, and then just kind of every week sending out reminders. At the end, we'll have a breakfast for whichever team wins, a really nice breakfast, and everybody on that team can wear jeans for a week. Okay? There'll be a day off for the person that raises the most in the whole office, so you get another vacation day. And then, for last but not least, we're gonna have a big celebration lunch, something nice, better than Jimmy John's, for anyone who attends the walk and raises $50. I'd really like to see a bigger participation on the walk this year. I cannot stand it when we're out there and there's like 100 Travelers people and 10 of us.
Right.
I mean, I know they're bigger than us, but, you know, we can make a better showing. So it's super fun too, it really is. It's a great day. You know, maybe for some of you guys it'll be a little more geographical, conducive to getting there, but try to get it, it's on your calendars. I think I asked Debbie to put it on everyone's calendar so you can get ahead of it and just make plans. It's great. Jim and Nick's gives you a full lunch, and there's music and lots of celebrations, and it's fun. So please try to do that, raise $50, and we'll have a great celebration, okay?
Yeah, so guys, we'll send out today, probably right after this meeting, we'll send a link out to you guys, and it's really simple. I mean, you can click on the link and you can donate. You can click on the link and there'll be instructions on there to set up your own page and your own team. So we just want to make sure that you're reaching out to everybody you know. And like I said, if you just got a little bit from everybody. The other thing I want to mention, it always works for me too, and United Way people don't like this as much as I do, but through your United Way donations, you can designate different organizations, different charities that you want your funds to go to. And you can do a certain percentage or a certain dollar. And so I've always done that with CF, so I don't even see it. It comes out of my paycheck every couple of weeks and it goes into CF, and at the end of the year, there's a bunch of money in there that they can use. So again, thank you guys so much for Jamie and Desi and Clay for coming out. Thanks for the team, Kathy, Aaron, and Jerry that are helping out with this. So, and the other thing is, if you guys have any other suggestions that you think might work, we are always open, all right? So thanks, have some lunch.
Thank you.